Hey everyone! In today's mini lesson, we are going to be looking at function notation if we're just given points on a graph. Our last couple of videos, we've been looking at graphs that have lines and curves, and here, they're just going to be points. Per usual, after this video, you will complete Delta Math 9. It is due by the end of class, and if you need extra time, you have until 11:59 p.m. before the assignment will lock. Let's get into it. Here's our graph, f of x. You can see there's a ton of points, and that's what I was trying to tell you. Here, it says which point could be used to find f of negative 4. So this guy right here, we have something inside the parentheses. That means our input is negative 4, which means x is negative 4. If my input is negative 4, then what it wants me to find is maybe what is y. But the question actually says, which point could be used to find this? So let's use our knowledge and using the fact that the input is negative 4 to see what point we're going to cross. Starting at the origin, which is 0, 0 in the center, since the input is a negative number, we're going to go left 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, that would be right here. We go up and also down, and you can see right away that the output is at this point right here, point B. It didn't ask me to give the y value of 4, but we can see it from the graph. All it asks for is the point. In our next problem, we have a slightly different graph, again with just a bunch of points, but it says according to this graph, what is f of 5? Right? So we see that there's something inside the parentheses. That means we have an input. Inputs are x values. So when x is 5, we want to know what is y this time. It says according to the graph. It does not say identify the point. And you can see that all of our possible answers are numbers. When we put in 5, what number do we get out? Let's start by going to the origin. Since the input is positive 5, or x is positive 5, we're going to go 5 units to the right over here and look up and see if there's any points corresponding to x equals 5, which there is. It's point A right here. We need to give the y value though, and if we look on the y-axis, y equals negative 2, so we would select negative 2 as our output. When we plug in 5, we get out negative 2. Here's another one. Here's a graph. A, B, C, D points around here. It says determine the value of x when f of x equals negative 5. We've been working on determining if it's input or outputs. This right here is an output situation. There's nothing inside the parentheses, so we are working with outputs. Outputs are y values, so when y is negative 5, we want to know what is our input? What is x? And it even says determine the value of x. So that makes sense. Let's start at 0, 0. Since our output is negative 5, we're going to go down, because y's are up and down 5 units over here. And we're going to draw a horizontal line across to see if we find our function. We sure do right here at D. So we want to look up and see what x that is, and that would be x equals negative 1. So we would select negative 1. These are pretty straightforward. However, the most important thing for you to remember is, am I looking for an output value to start with, or am I looking for an input? If you start with an output, you're going to find the input. And if you start with an input, you're going to find the output. Go ahead and give it a try with your Delta Math 9 assignment.